The search for 11 missing fishermen off the coast of Hout Bay has been called off. This means that they are now presumed dead due to the time that had lapsed since the boat sank. Let's get more on this story and what it means. We're joined by Captain Ravi Naicker, who is the acting chief of the Rescue Coordination Center at the SA Maritime Safety Authority. Mr. Naicker, good evening to you and thank you for your time. Let's begin with the calling off of the search. Why is that and what does it mean for these 11 missing fishermen?
Good evening to you, colleague. We were alerted on late Friday afternoon, around about 15:30, that there is a vessel that is sinking, and that message was relayed by another fishing vessel called Amana. And now, before we make any decision to call off a search, there's a number of blocks that need to be ticked. So initially, provide an immediate response. So at that particular point in time, there were a number of fishing vessels in the vicinity, sister ships to the Harvest Lepanto, that's the vessel that had sank. And they rendered initial provided initial rescue efforts. There was a total of 9 fishing vessels in that area, and the one that reported the Mayday was less than a mile away, so could actually see what was going on. One of the life rods was able to be activated, and 9 the fishing vessel crew managed to get on board, and then they were rescued by the Armada. So that was the initial response effort. During the course of the night, with visibility, good visibility, we used a rotary wing and a fixed wing aircraft to fly over the area at the point where the vessel had sunk, but that yielded no results as well. During the course of that night, Friday night into Saturday morning, there were also a number of fishing vessels in the area with their searchlights, trying their best efforts in order to pick up any other survivors.
Yeah,
that yielded no results. And then on Saturday morning, we followed stage number 4, utilizing a fixed wing rotary wing helicopter to fly over the area. But the only items that we received was a life raft canister, unactivated, as well as a fishing net, which we presume is from the fishing vessel.
Yeah.
With those efforts, by close of sunset on Saturday afternoon, we made the decision to, around 2100, made the decision to conclude the search efforts on the basis that a number of search and rescue units were activated and yielding no results. The Maritime Rescue Coordination Center, through that entirety, had created search patterns, both for the aircraft as well as the surface vessels, and that provided no results. So in terms of the effort and the results, and that prompted us to make a decision to conclude the search, and also mindful of the fact that it is extremely cold water. The fellow crew members that were rescued had indicated that the guys aboard did not have any life jackets. They were in the process of fishing, and we suspect that those that have succumbed in this particular incident were actually inside the vessel when it sank and did not get any chance to evacuate.
Yeah. Mr. Naicker, the next question will be particularly difficult for any persons that may be related to the missing fishermen. The calling off, the calling off of the search, does that mean that these missing fishermen are now effectively presumed dead? But add to that, is the recovery mission also stopped or halted? Does this mean basically that there will be no search for bodies?
We have issued a notice to mariners that will be transiting that area in the position of where the vessel had sank. And yes, more rightly, it is presumed dead. We will, or deceased, on the basis that the survivability for more than it's now almost 48 hours. The chances of any survival is very limited. And with some of the sightings and in the interviews that were provided, it indicated that they were on board when the vessel capsized in a very short space of time. It sank. The depth of water at which this vessel sank is in the region of 250 to 300 meters water depth. So any chances of recovery is extremely difficult. There's no way of lifting that vessel at this point in time.
Yeah.
And with regard to the survivors, the company Sea Harvest that provide trauma counseling, both for those once they landed in the early hours of Saturday morning, the 9 survivors, provided trauma counseling for them. And during the course of Saturday and even up to today, they've made more arrangements for the family members for counseling, and also have prepared them in terms of the outcome, and that the search and rescue effort has been closed.
Yeah.
If there's any sightings, then the Maritime Rescue Coordination Center will then take prompt and appropriate action.
The CEO of the company in question, you've already mentioned them. It's Sea Harvest. The CEO of this company, Felix Ravi, is quoted as saying that they are devastated by the latest news that the search has been called off. This was their fishing trawler. How big an involvement is there going to be in terms of the investigations? Because that is still going to be found out as to what it is that led to this trawler sinking.
Yeah, with regard to the South African Maritime Safety Authority, they started interviews with the survivors at this point in time, and they will continue with the investigations, looking at the vessel's safety records, certificates, a whole host of things, crew members, certification, the standard of the vessel, etc., etc. There will be a lot of engagements between the owners, Sea Harvest, together with the South African Maritime Safety Authority. With regard to the notification of closeout of search and rescue efforts, there was consultation with Sea Harvest during the course of Saturday and even as far as yesterday, prior to us issuing a media release and indicating that the search had been called.
Yeah. All right, let's leave the conversation there. Very, very difficult story to deal with.